Morning, guys. Market's open. How is everyone? Got a little bit of a late start. My son forgot his binder this morning, so I had to rush back to school, back to the house, and then back to the school. So, got a little bit of a late start, but I'm here. No, I had a network. I just had my son needed some help this morning. All is good. All right. So my game plan last night, I actually said in the Discord, I set an alert down here at this value area low. I never actually hit that, but it's kind of heading that direction. This is our London low right here, right above that. So let's see if it comes down and grabs that area. Might be a decent spot for a long. But gonna stay patient. See what the market brings us. I haven't checked my prop firm account discords in the last couple hours, but last I saw they were recommending not to trade Project X right now still until everything kind of gets finalized. But if there's more updated information, let me know. That was the last I saw, though. So it came down almost to that London low and got a bounce. I wouldn't want a long before that, though. London low is right at yesterday's value area low, so that might be a decent spot to watch for a reaction long. If it doesn't bounce there, we could come a little bit lower to this like 25 to 20 level. That's actually a good thing to like a big debate, Waffles. I feel like the initial pain of the internet going out would just be complaining and we would all be lost. There'd be a couple days, probably a couple weeks of just like complaining and lost feeling and not knowing what to do. We would all be dumb without the internet. But then becoming productive, like plunging into productivity, maybe after a couple months of not having the internet. Once we kind of got settled into that and learning how to be bored and learning how to like actually have conversations with real people and learning skills and stuff, we might actually be productive after a couple months of no internet. Kind of like the idea of like a detox, like a social media detox or a device detox, if you've ever done something like that or heard about it. I feel like it would take time. It would be painful in the beginning. Coming back up towards VWAP and rejecting again. Still looking for a pullback to enter long, but I feel like it could go a little bit lower before it bounces because it kind of came like just to that London low, but not quite. Value area lows right below it. There is this high volume node right here, so I'd like to see it come a little bit lower before watching for a long. Double checking news. We don't have any news today. We had earnings this morning, and then we have Fed speakers later today. But nothing really going on in the middle of the day. Unless Trump decides to say something. So far, this is our opening range. All you Project X users, what do you think? Are you going to be trading your accounts today? Looking through all my Discord announcements to see if anyone has like officially said yes, they're okay to trade. Yeah, Lucid Discord says that they're still recommending that you not trade. I think Top Step said not to, so most of the Project X people are saying don't trade yet. I think they're still trying to fix stuff. Yeah, Renzo, lots of earnings this week. So from what, like, I can log into all of my Project X accounts, but I think they're still like finalizing all of the resets from yesterday, and I don't know exactly what's going on. They're just saying we have not received confirmation that Project X data feed is stable. We don't know the status of their backend at this time. We have not received any updates. So I guess it's kind of a trade at your own risk situation right now. All right, coming back down to this London low area. Let's see if it bounces down here. Kind of watching this level. I like the value area low for a bounce, but the thing is it's also at the top of this high volume node. And a lot of times I like to play the edges of my high volume nodes. So if it comes down lower towards like 237-ish, I would like that better. There's my alert going off. Well, I'm definitely glad I stayed patient on that and didn't set a limit order. Let's see if this level holds. Decent bounce so far. Don't want to rush into anything though. Don't want to be trying to catch a falling knife. Zooming out to the 1 hour, that was a little fair value gap level. We do have more support below too though. So just staying patient, gonna see what happens here. Might consider a long if it holds. Let's see how this candle ends up. All right, I got in a long. I might add to my position here in a second too. So far, I'll put my chart on the screen here in a second. Entries at 243.25. Dang, I didn't even get a chance to add. That jumped up fast. Going to target back up to this point of control level. Coming right back down. With all that jumping around, I'm not going to add to it at this point. Oops. Let's see if it holds. Nope. That stopped me out. Could be the right idea. Just maybe a little bit too early. With all this jumping around, I'm going to stay patient here. I actually have a TradeDay account that I'm trading on right now. Just one. It all happened so fast, I didn't even get a chance to move it over. One thing I could do too is link it to my trading view. I might do that. That way I don't have to switch back and forth on the screens. Alex, yeah, they deleted all the trades. I know. So I was a little bit annoyed with that because it really didn't start locking people out and having the issues until, I don't know what, like 6 a.m. Central Time, 7 a.m. Eastern. And I took a London trade when I woke up in the morning at like 5 a.m. and everything was fine on Project X. And they wiped that off. I was a little bit annoyed with that too. But I understand they have to make it fair. So our 15-minute opening range is set. We got a little bit of a wick outside of it. We do have this decent support level that it's kind of hugging the bottom of it. Let's see if we get a bounce up. Nope. Looks like it's going down. So next big level I can see is this 25,150 level. It is tricky today so far. It's very bouncy and wicky all over the place. Yeah, 1 hour definitely looks like it's strong to the downside. But that level that I have marked off is holding. And the fact that it kind of peeked its head outside of the 15-minute opening range, but now it's getting back above it and getting some volume back to the upside. I don't know. I could see this going either way right now. So definitely an opportunity to sit out. I was leaning towards longs, so I don't want to short this. And I still feel like I had the right idea here. I just probably got in a little bit too early. Look at these wicks, you guys. This is bouncing all over the place. This looks like it wants to go back up. All right, I'm gonna try the idea again. 250.4 is where I entered. Aiming to get back to the top of the 15-minute opening range high, and then might leave a runner up to like point of control or even value area high if this thing looks like it's going to continue. Gold dropping. Well, it looks like I'm wrong here. Alrighty, more downside it is. Product, I took a long because I had this high volume node right here. Looked like it was finding support. And then I liked how it bounced off of that 15-minute opening range low. That was my reasoning for it, but obviously wrong. Looks like it's headed a lot lower now. The next big support area I see is down here at 25, 150-ish. But at this point, the trend is definitely down. My thought process last night when I pulled up the charts and kind of looked at my levels was as long as we stay above 25, 150, I would be interested in a pullback to enter long. Don't really want to take shorts until we drop below this big support area at like 25,000. But that's just my thought process. So I'm going to wait and see what happens if it keeps coming down to 25, 150. See what kind of reaction we get down at this level. Right now it's just chopping around in this support area that I have marked off. Not really a super clear direction right now. Yeah, if anyone's trading with Project X, be careful, you guys. All of my discords are still saying wait, that the issue hasn't quite been cleared up. Actually, I just looked again. Lucid X just said, we're talking with Project X right now. Their platform is stable enough for trading today. We're still working with them to finalize pushing their adjustments to our dashboard. So they haven't officially said, yes, you can start trading, but it looks like they're close. And I was just reading the Lucid Discord, but I mean, they're all Project X across the board, all of them. All right, breaking back down below this 15-minute opening range low, but still chopping around. Yeah, definitely stuck in this chop right here. Those are a couple of high volume nodes that I had marked off from the higher time frame. So it makes sense that it's not really going anywhere right here. Goodness. No matter what trade you're in, you're just sitting in the chop right now. I can imagine there's a lot of people that took a short on the break of this 15-minute opening range. It's not going anywhere. I know for me, when I find myself being able to make an argument for a long and a short, that's a good sign for me to sit out and not trade. Because I could definitely do that right now. I do like this level down here for a retest though at like 25,150-ish. Because look at this whole move up, the untested move up right here. You can see it better on the 1 hour. It would just be too perfect if it came down and bounced right there. Anyone in the chat sitting in a trade right now? Probably sweating through it right now. I do like longs, but I've already taken the same idea twice, so I don't want to enter again. I like that it's like holding this support level, reclaiming that 15-minute opening range low. It is stuck at the top of this resistance though, which is also where the New York anchored VWAP is. So it would have to break back above this level and retest for me to consider a long. Because for now it's kind of rejecting that level, but we'll see. It's just chopping around for now. Starting to head back down. Goodness, this chop is gonna blow some people's accounts. I hope you guys are either sitting out or sizing really small right now, so you can have a wide stop loss and sit through the chop with whatever direction you think it's gonna go. Because this is ugly. You guys, this price action's putting me to sleep. I might need to go get some coffee. All right, let's see if we can get out of this choppy range. And do something. Give us some more information. Well, the 5 minute just looks ugly. Like no one knows what's going on there. 15 minute definitely looks like down. But we have some wicks underneath, and it's still holding above that 15 minute opening range low. So again, for me, no trade zone. Johnny California, is the discount still on funded accounts? Which one are you talking about? There's several different like prop firm sales going on right now, if that's what you're asking. Top One Futures has a 55% discount. Their website says 50%, but if you use code Krista, it's 55% off for their instant funded accounts. Tradeify has 30% off. Lucid has, I think it's 45% off. Let me pull it up so I'm not lying to you. Yeah, Lucid just announced a flash sale for 45% off their 50K test account, and then 30% off all of their other accounts. So, sorry, I wasn't sure exactly what your question was in terms of if there's still a discount on funded accounts. But yeah, there's lots of different sales going on right now. Yeah, for Lucid, if that's what you're asking. So it's 45% off their 50K test account, which is their most popular one. And then 30% off all of their other accounts. And then it's 50% off their resets. So if you have an account that you failed, you can reset it for 50% off. And that's only for like the next 12 hours. It was a 24-hour flash sale, and they released it last night. All right, let's see if this ends up breaking above and retesting and we continue higher. Maybe? Longs are what I've been wanting. I've just been too early. Is that going to happen? Since it's been so choppy, I don't want to get chopped up again. So if I take this trade, it would only be a break and a retest. I would stay patient for it. So if it just breaks and goes without me, that's okay. I'll miss it. Yeah, Verisat, this is a tough market right now. That's why if I take a trade, it would be on the break and retest to like get confirmation of it. Because it could definitely just be a fake breakout. But that's the level I'm watching, like 25, 250-ish, if it holds above that. Or if it breaks down below where it has been here and continues lower, that red dot is what I would be looking at. Just gotta get outside of this chop. Verisat, so if I was to take that like break and retest trade, I probably would not put my stop loss all the way down here. I personally would probably put it here. Just because for me, the support level that I'm watching is this gray volume node and then the 15-minute opening range low. So even down here gives that quite a bit of room. And then I would be targeting either the 15-minute opening range high or point of control, so somewhere up there. I don't love that though. That's a 2-to-1 risk to reward. I usually like to get a little bit more. But I'm not entering it yet. I want to wait and see how this 5-minute candle actually closes because it's been super wicky. I want to make sure it's actually going to get outside of that range and then come back and retest it. So again, if I miss it, I'm okay with that. Chemical Rick, end of day drawdown and daily payouts. Yes, actually, TradeDay does. I like them a lot better than Take Profit Trader because Take Profit has the intraday drawdown. But yeah, TradeDay is pretty much the same as Take Profit Trader in that they have the 5-day eval. Once you pass the eval, then you have to trade to a buffer. Once you get past the buffer, you can take daily payouts. So like the 50K account, for example, you get to a $3,000 profit target over a 5-day period. And then you get to the funded stage, you build to a $2,000 buffer. Anything over that 2K buffer, you can take daily payouts. They have awesome rules and they're cheap too. It's like with their 30% off right now, there's no activation fee. I think it's $115 for a 50K account, which, I mean, for daily payouts, it's a great deal. I like TradeDay. All right, so 15 seconds left on this candle. Looks like it's actually breaking out, so I like that. But again, I wanted to confirm it was actually going to break. So now I'm waiting for a retest. If it comes back, awesome. If not, I'm okay with it. Could be a mistrade, but that's all right by me. Yeah, the Futures Club, I'm with you on that. This was the idea I was watching for. I love 15-minute opening range fake breakouts, and that's exactly what I was doing here on these longs. Just too early. I screwed up the timing. I was thinking that it was bouncing and holding on this support level, this gray area, but it ended up coming down to the next support and then moving back up. Well, it doesn't look like it's coming back down at this point. I do, Yadira. Let me find it for you. So basically, I talk about how a lot of people teach the 15-minute opening range trades wrong, in my opinion. A lot of people teach you just to like put a limit order on the bottom of the range. Like I would put a buy order here, or sorry, a sell order here. As soon as it breaks the range, I would short. Same thing, put a buy order here, and as soon as it breaks the range, I would long. And I think because I've seen so many videos teaching that and knowing that people do that, I think that's why I like the 15-minute fake outs so much, because it's like against the grain. I'm like, ha, I got you. I don't know why, but I enjoy those trades. So basically in the video, I'm pulling the link right now, but basically I talk about how you have to look at the bigger picture and trade with the bigger trend. So in this case, the trend is up on the higher time frame. So you probably want to long the 15-minute opening range, and then also look for like support and all that outside. So if it breaks outside the range, hits support and bounces, or same thing on the other side, if this had broken out to the upside and hit this resistance, I could have possibly taken a short. So that's the idea behind it. Let me put this link in the chat for you. Got a little pullback at VWAP, but it didn't quite come back down to that level I was watching. All right, I got in at 252.25 on that little retest right there. And I'm going to put my stop loss really, I'm going to put it right there. I want it to hold above this support and keep moving higher. 236.25 is where I'm going to put it. Oh, geez. All right, that stopped me out. What the heck, you guys? I might need to be done trading today. Well, I shouldn't say might. I need to be done trading today. This is ugly. Oh my gosh. What the heck was that? Did something come up on Financial Juice, or was that just random for the fun of it? Man. I don't see any news popping up. All right, I guess we're going back down to that, maybe that 150 level I was talking about. All right, now we're about 2 minutes away from the opening, or the initial balance being set. Continuing lower. Is gold dumping? That's what it sounds like. Oh, geez. Yeah, G-Man, that alert I was telling you I set last night on the, like, quote-unquote support level, it just cut straight through it. I'm glad I wasn't awake to trade it, because I probably would have tried to. So the initial balance is set. This is officially the IB low and the bottom of a support zone, but who knows? Maybe I'm too long biased, but I keep feeling like this is going to hold and continue higher. It's just taking out everyone and their stop losses first. Grabbing some more liquidity so it can continue higher. That's what I feel like. But I've been wrong 3 times, so I'm done. Gotta be done. I want to see what happens on this initial balance, though. If it continues higher, or if we come back down to this 150 level I have marked off. Nick, no, I am not trading with Apex. That is based on the fact that there's some people in the Discord that asked me to set up an affiliate code with it. I don't think I'll ever trade with Apex, honestly. I even put that in, like I included my link in the prop firm recommendations just to let people know I have it. But there's a note on there that says that I only recommend Apex if you're more of an advanced trader. Because the advantage is lots of leverage. Like you can have 20 accounts, which if you're a really consistent, profitable trader, good with base hits every day, you can make a ton of money. Like that's where people get $1 million payouts. But I don't think it's a good option for beginners. You think we dropped to 155, G-Man? Yeah, that's where my little red dot is. Let's see if it's right. Gotta stay patient. See if it gets there. So far, it's coming back down to this initial balance low. Let's see if it breaks and holds below it. Get some continuation. Either way, just get out of this chop and continue somewhere. Nick, the futures desk is awesome. They have the fastest path to live out of any firms I've seen. They have a 5-day eval, which is not super easy to pass, but if you're a consistently profitable trader, it shouldn't be an issue. And then once you pass the eval, you build to a small buffer, and then they give you a live brokerage account after that. So it's not like most firms where you have to trade in a sim account for like 2 to 3 months or even longer. Once you pass the eval with futures desk, they give you an account, a live account. It's pretty cool. Holding that IB low, which is also at that support area. Are we actually going to get some continuation back up? Where are we going? What are we doing? Rejecting VWAP again at the top of that high volume node level. Yeah, hit that like button. Do we have 60 bots in here? I don't know. Maybe. Is this going to be the one that actually breaks that level and stays? I think that's what it is, you guys. I think this was a breakout, and then it just came down to grab some liquidity and blow some people up, and now the real move is coming. We're heading back higher. Oh. So I think my idea was decent, just execution and timing was off. Yeah, so far it's bullish, G-Man, but we still have 5 minutes left on it. It seemed like this last one was bullish until it wasn't. That was a big slap down. Let's see what happens in the next 5 minutes. Let's see how this candle closes. We've been stuck at this level. Right here. Stuck right here. We've gotten wicks above it, but no closes above it. So let's see how this next 15-minute candle closes. So far, it looks like it's going to continue higher, but like I said, still lots of time left. Almost 5 minutes left on this candle. Your son's tooth finally came out. Love it. Yeah, I remember not so much when now that my kids are older, but when they were super young and they had them just hanging on like by a thread like that. I was like, man, you're gonna lose this thing in your sleep and like swallow it. Did you try the Nerf gun thing, Shez? Or did it just fall out, or did you pull it out? $100? I don't know if you were listening to our conversation about inflation with the tooth fairy yesterday, Waffles, because I know you weren't feeling very good. But there is a debate, like, do we still give $1? Do we give $5? Like, what's the going rate for teeth these days? $100? Man. Okay, well, that makes me feel a little bit better, Waffles. So I got $1 when I was a kid, and I give my kids $1. And some of my friends were like, "Oh, I give my kids $5." I'm like, "Oh, I guess with inflation, 20 years ago, that was $1 was different back then." So the Nerf gun, uh, you tie a string or a piece of floss or something around your kid's tooth, and then you tie the other end of the floss around a Nerf gun bullet, and then you shoot the gun, and it makes the tooth come out. It only works if the tooth is hanging on by a thread, though. It has to be like super, super loose. But for a little kid who's afraid to get their tooth pulled out, it's a whole lot more fun than having mom like yank it out. Also, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes their teeth are so little that I can't like get my fingers in there. So the string on a Nerf gun bullet works a lot better and it's more fun. Yeah, that's actually true. Kids get more excited about coins than dollars. At least when they're young enough that they don't really understand the value of money. Because, with coins, like, I got 4 coins versus $1. 4 quarters is more than $1. Well, that 15-minute candle doesn't look so hot anymore. Definitely a good time to be zooming out and not stuck on the 5-minute or the 1-minute chart. Because I could see where, like, if you were on the 2-minute chart, this candle right here could have definitely faked you out because it looked like it was breaking up above that level that we've been stuck under. Breaking above VWAP, breaking above that resistance level. But the 15-minute closed under it. Range trader, I've never heard of that one. When I was a kid, my parents would tie a string to my tooth and then a doorknob and then slam the door shut. That's how we would pull out our teeth. Edgar, I don't have a moving average. I use VWAP. So this darker blue line is the session VWAP that's anchored from the open last night at 6 p.m. And then this light blue VWAP is anchored at the New York Open, so the 9:30 candle. No, I'm not in that trade. So this one right here, that's the one that I was in, and then it just randomly slapped back down. I shouldn't say random. The market does what it wants. But nope, got stopped out. Eating an apple, that's another good way to lose a tooth. I don't know if that's what you were talking about, Mad Moxie. We got all kinds of parenting hacks in the chat, you guys. When price action is boring like this, we can share tips on how to get your kids' teeth to fall out and how much you should give them for the tooth fairy. $100 initial balance. Good times. Skittles? Skittles is causing problems and making you lose a crown? That sucks. I've never been a big fan of chewing Skittles anyway, because then it gets stuck in your molars, gets stuck in your teeth. I like sucking on them. I'm the type of person, though, that eats desserts like really, really slow. So Starburst, Skittles, things like that, those kind of candies, I typically suck on them. Lollipops or suckers, I don't usually bite them. I don't really eat them that often anyway, but if I like steal a couple of my kids or something, I'll usually suck on them. I'm the same way with desserts too. That was a big thing, like when my husband and I started dating and we would share a dessert. He would eat so fast and I would take like 1 or 2 bites and the dessert was gone. I'm like, what the heck? I was taking my time and you ate the whole thing. So I started to like cut the dessert in half and be like, this is my side and that is your side. And then he would finish his in 3 minutes and I'm still eating mine 15 minutes later and he's just staring at me. I'm like, well, you shouldn't have eaten yours so fast. This is mine. I'm not sharing. Yeah, EL, I'm not sure I would enter a long right now anyway, just because I've already taken 3 losses. I need to be done. But watching the 15-minute candle is definitely what kept me out of this trade. Because it looked like it was holding above and then it ended up closing back below. So this level here at like 25,250 is definitely the area that we're stuck in. No, Waffles. So I took one live and then the other 2 were a paper trade. So I've taken 3. And then at this point, EL, I think you were the one asking about it. Even if this 15-minute candle does close above the level that I've kind of been watching that we're stuck under, we do have VWAP here. So we're kind of in a tight spot here in terms of longs. I do like that it's holding this support, but I don't like price action today. Goodness, look at that 5-minute chart. That's ugly. All right, Waffles, have a good day. So let's see if this actually breaks VWAP. Looking at the 15-minute candle, see, we still have 7 minutes left on this candle. I do like longs today. It's too late to enter at this point. I would be chasing it. Just didn't have my stop loss wide enough on the idea. Hey, Tibor. So when I go live, it is NQ is the chart that I have up. I do trade gold sometimes during the Asia Tokyo session, but I don't go live during those. If you're on Discord, join our Discord. There's a lot of people there that trade ES and gold and a couple other things. I think those are the main ones that I've seen people share charts for. But yeah, I mostly trade NQ. And then I watch gold too. Nope, I haven't really tried others like SP 500 or anything else. I've always heard from like successful traders that you should focus on one ticker, one symbol, and become an expert at that, get really good at that. So that's what I've always done and why I've just stuck with one. I feel like it would be too much to look at too, with like marking off all the levels and watching reactions at different levels with like 3 different charts. I think I would have trouble focusing. Did gold ever end up bouncing? Yeah, I guess it did. It was, oh geez, lots of down. Man. That was a big pullback. It'll be interesting to see how this 4-hour candle closes. If it closes down towards the bottom of the body of this candle, that could be a change of direction. Interesting. Well, we ended up breaking up above VWAP. Looks like we're going to continue at least to the initial balance high, which is at 25,300. But really, I could see it coming up to 25,315, which is yesterday's point of control and the bottom of this high volume node that I have. My risk is based on a dollar amount per trade. So I'll adjust my contracts based on that. So I use the long and short risk to reward tool. So I have it set to $200 risk per trade. And then wherever I move my stop loss, like let's say my stop loss is there, it tells me to take 3.3 contracts of MNQ. So that's how I keep my risk the same on every trade, or same-ish, because obviously you have to round up or round down. All right, the Futures Club, have a good one. Gonna see how it reacts at this initial balance high, but I could see it going higher, so I don't think I would take a short from here. All right, Shez, have a great day. Awesome, Eva. Enjoy your dog walk. Yeah, gold can definitely make or break you fast. It's one of those things, like I'm still learning gold. I size down a lot and sometimes just take it on a practice account. Because there's times where if you catch the move and you can just ride the momentum, it's awesome. But then there's times where it's super choppy and all over the place and I have no idea what it's doing. So it's hard to read sometimes. My reason for sticking with NQ, honestly, I don't have a great reason. The person that, an acquaintance of mine at the time on Facebook, is the one who like got me intrigued about futures because he kept posting about it and he traded NQ. So that's kind of was my introduction to futures trading. That's where I started, and that's when I learned that most people say stick with one symbol, and I just stuck with it. I did try ES for a little while, but I think after experiencing the volatility of NQ, watching ES was just so slow for me. But that's just me. I'm not saying one is better over the other. All right, it is rejecting this initial balance high. The tough part about today, though, is that it's such a small range. So normally I like initial balance high, like rejections, because a lot of times it stays in the range and you can take even just a little scalp off of it. But my target is usually VWAP. And that's such a tiny little trade, like barely over a 1-to-1 risk to reward. Yeah, G-Man, reversed all the way back up, rejecting initial balance high. With such a small range, I wonder if it's going to go all the way back down to IB low and then maybe hit that 150 target. Where is our point of control? Probably right in the middle. Oh, down here. Rejecting IB high, but still holding above VWAP. Yeah, the range even goes back to the overnight session, like London. Right about here is when the London session started. So even that has just been stuck in this range. We have some pretty big news coming out later this week, Friday, with PMI, CPI, all that stuff. I really hope the market's not just choppy and waiting for that for the rest of the week. That would kind of stink. Well, it's holding VWAP. It broke above it, came back down, retested. It's holding there. It still never came up. So it hit that initial balance high but it never came up and hit the London high and grabbed that liquidity. So it could come up a little bit higher to like 316-ish. We'll see if we get a failed auction. I wouldn't be opposed to entering a short if that happens. Come up and grab that London high liquidity and then reject. If we get some strong selling pressure and it actually stops moving slow like this. Yeah, you're right. We do have Tesla earnings. That is after the market closes, though. So I would feel like it would affect the market not tomorrow, but the next day. So Thursday. The Lucid dashboard is not working. Yeah, I think most of the companies that have Project X are saying to wait and not trade yet. I don't know if there's enough momentum to make this move actually happen. Getting a little move up. So what I'm watching for is a move a little bit past initial balance high, come and grab this London high liquidity right here, which is also yesterday's point of control. So I like that area. And then watch for some selling pressure. If this is just going to be a continuous slow grind up, then I'm not taking the short. If we start to get some momentum and some selling down, I would take that failed action. I don't know though. I don't like it right now. Just the way it's slow and grinding. The volume indicator. Which one am I using? I don't know. It's just called volume. I know it's something different though, because it has the red and the green. I don't really pay much attention to that, because from what I've heard, it's not super accurate. But I think you can type in like volume delta or something like that. I don't remember. I would have to Google it and figure out which one I'm using. But it's just regular volume that's separated into buy and sell. How much of that candle was buys and how much was sells. But again, from what I've heard, it's not super accurate. Yeah, Philip, I think that's pretty common. Having some actual money on the line kind of messes people up. There's definitely a psychological part to trading. It's really easy to like back test and even do it live with a paper trading account and be profitable. And then all of a sudden, when you put your money on the line, the emotions come up, right? The revenge trading because you messed up and you want to get your money back, or fear, like you keep moving your stop loss and messing with things because you don't just want to sit there and let your trade play out or whatever. There's so many different examples, but the emotions come into play. So I don't know. That's why I really like prop firm accounts. Because if you fund your own account and you have thousands of dollars in there, that's a lot of money on the line. But with a prop firm, you can still have access to trade capital and still actually get money out once you pass their rules and like hit all the standards. But you can invest like $100 or $200 depending on what account you purchase. So there's still some emotional buy-in, but you're not risking all of your capital. If you're not a profitable trader yet, that's the route I would recommend you go. Well, it's not continuing back up to that initial balance high. It is holding VWAP though, just continuing the chop. Dang. I guess it's heading down from here. If it doesn't stop at this initial balance low, then it's coming down to 25,150. All right, you guys. I think what I'm going to do is set some alerts because I don't want to sit and watch this chop. I'm going to set an alert here at initial balance high so I can see if it hits initial balance high and kind of what it does if that happens. And then same thing at initial balance low. If it holds initial balance low, possibly take a long, or if it drops below, I can watch and see what happens at this 25,150 level. But price action kind of sucks right now, so I don't want to sit through this. Hopefully tomorrow's a little bit more fun, and hopefully all the Project X stuff gets figured out by then too. But I will see you guys in Discord. If you're not already in Discord, click the link and join up there. And then I will see you tomorrow live as well. Have a good one, you guys. Take care. Thanks for joining.